victims of identity theft are every individual or every potential individual, plus businesses. There's no one group that's immune from being victimized. I've seen business accounts and business names and websites hijacked by fraudsters, all for the purpose of identity theft. And the only limiting factor is how easy it is for a fraudster to get your personal, either individual or corporate, identifying information and use that for fraudulent purposes. If you look at the evolution of identity theft, the origins really were in low tech, dumpster diving, people stealing mail, breaking into mailboxes, inside employees stealing credit cards, postal employees stealing credit cards, inside people in financial institutions, a lot of low tech means. But as you know, this world has embraced technology, we've seen a shift. We still see the traditional use through and obtaining PII through dumpster diving and the like, but now we're seeing entrepreneurial fraudsters embracing technology. And so now we're seeing information and things like spamming. We're seeing phishing schemes, farming schemes, spear phishing schemes, all trying to elicit information from an unsuspecting public to respond to websites that look legitimate, but they're not. You know, we're also seeing now that this world has embraced technology, especially wireless technology and home computing and wireless networks. We're finding that fraudsters are looking for weaknesses in systems, and when they can bypass firewalls, or in many cases, they find people who don't have encryption or don't have protected networks, they're able to steal personal information, not only from individuals, but from corporations. And we've seen a number of large data breaches over the last few years. Identity theft has continued to evolve since it really grew in prominence since late 1960s. We've seen it progress from student loan fraud to credit card fraud to bank fraud. We've seen medical identity theft. We now see international schemes. What's going to happen is, as long as our personal information is so readily available, especially what I see, and others see the same thing, is that social networking sites have just a large amount of our personal information. We have a tendency to not use the same kind of security in locking our homes as with locking our personal information. And you can go to Facebook or LinkedIn or MySpace and find a lot of personal information. So I think when you have that exposure and that information, you're going to continue to see a growth of identity crimes over the next few years. There's no guarantee that any one individual or business will not be a victim of identity theft, but there are many things that we can do to protect ourselves and at least lessen the possibility of identity theft. First and foremost, you need to review your credit reports on an ongoing basis. All Americans who have credit can obtain a free credit report each year from each of the major credit bureaus, the three major credit bureaus. But what I would recommend, rather than order all three once a year, order one in January, one in May, one in September, so you have a full year cycle. Carefully review your credit reports on an ongoing basis and look for anomalies. Look for credit cards that you didn't apply for. Look for loans that you didn't apply for. Look for credit hits, that somebody is checking your credit worthiness. Was it you or somebody else? And you may find a whole host of credit cards and bank loans and other financial issues that you wouldn't be aware of. Fraudsters the world over have realized how financially beneficial and how easy it is to obtain large amounts of personal information. And as I remember from a fraudster, identity thief that I arrested and brought before Congress to testify in 1986, and when he testified then and what he said then still rings true today. He said to the senators at the time, "I am shocked that more people aren't doing this crime. It's just so easy to do." And that was 1986. If we don't lock down our personal information, it's going to continue. And one of the first things we need to do is really reconsider, how we use the Social Security number as an identification device. The Social Security number was never meant to be an authentication or identification device, yet it's become commonly that over the last 50 plus years.